Hey, Oscar, good to see you in the comments. Hello, and welcome to Nimdzi Live. This is going to be an interesting episode today because I've got headsets and microphones falling all over the place here. But today, this is a special episode of Nimdzi Live. We are actually meeting in the Nimdziverse, and I see a couple people already in the Nimdziverse here. Maybe I can even pull it up already. Yeah, we got a couple people. Hello there. I don't even know who these people are, but I love you for being here. So if you'd like to join us live in the Nimdiverse today, which is Nimdzi's newest creation in the Metaverse, the Internet 2.0, you can go to metaverse.nimdzi.com and you can enter there, and you can even create your own custom avatar like we have people doing right here. And this is just awesome. And what we're going to do today, we're going to take a quick tour of the Nimdziverse, show you around, talk a little bit about the technology behind it, the pros, the cons, and all that stuff. After that, it's going to be like 5-10 minutes, and after that, we're going to have a quick presentation. I don't think we need to be doing this for too long today. We're going to have a quick presentation on exploring the Metaverse. We're going to talk about what is the Metaverse and all of that stuff. But before we get into it, let's go through the basics here. Once again, my name is Tucker Johnson, and I am your host today as we experience together, whether live streaming on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that jazz, or whether you are in the Nimdziverse in virtual reality, plugged into the Matrix with me. Wherever you're coming to us from today, and appreciate you being here. Go ahead and share this with all of your friends if you want them to come on in and join us in the Metaverse too. On this program, Nimdzi Live, we like to invite guests who like to have fun and also have some value to add for our audience of globalization professionals. I'm always eager to provide a platform to those with a good story or a good data set. So let us know if there are any topics you'd like to see covered or any guests you'd like to reach out to. And we see people just piling into the Metaverse here, all sorts of people logging in here. Sooner or later, I'm going to unmute you guys so that we can actually talk to you. You should be able to talk to yourselves and talk to each other while you're in there. It's basically a virtual conference room. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to Nimdzi Insights. It's presuming that you're going to be dialing in from LinkedIn, all of that stuff. And that way you're going to be notified when we get things going. But before we get too much into this here, I do want to go over here to the Metaverse and get some set up here for everybody, because I'm realizing these people here in the Metaverse perhaps don't have the ability to see us in our cool little Nimdzi Live thing here. So we're going to share a screen here in Nimdzi Hall. If I can just find the one that I want to share. Yellow Duck, Oculus, Events, OBS. Well, maybe I don't have my, oh, here we go, rendered projector. Let's allow that. We're going to put this right up here. This is what's cool about the Metaverse, is it's completely customizable. I can move all of this around. I can make changes to things, make them bigger, this, make them smaller. So we're going to place this, maybe right here, next to our presentation that we're going to be going over. Right here. Very cool. So now everybody in the Metaverse can see me too. So back to begging you guys for subscriptions here on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you're coming in to live from us today. Some quick housekeeping. I spun the wheel of sponsors, and what I want to talk to you today is about our partners over at Multilingual, because there's a new issue out. It's super exciting. Thank you, Lionbridge, for sponsoring this year. And there's been several unboxing videos happening out there, like on LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff. But I just wanted to do this with you guys myself while I'm here, because there's some cool stuff this month in Multilingual Magazine. Oh, if I can get this open. This was not planned. Where's my pocket knife? There's some cool stuff in here. First of all, we got this neat insert poster, perfect for your office wall, a blueprint of the evolution of translation. And of course, this is by Taos. Many of you have seen this before, and you like this, you love this. Now you have a full-size copy to hang in your office. The next thing I wanted to show you is that with Multilingual, as I mentioned, we have a sponsor this year with this month, this issue with Lionbridge, but this is a tear-off page. And speaking of Taos, we have Jaap van der Meer as our cover story today. He wrote an excellent article in one of the previous issues, and there are some rebuttals happening. And so if you want to see Jaap's pretty picture here, but also read about all the reasons why he's wrong, then make sure to open up this month's Multilingual. Well, with that let's dive right into it here. And I see, active chat today. Hello, everybody on chat. And I'm hoping the people in the Metaverse can hear me. You should be able to hear me. You should be seeing what's going on and everything. I can't be in two places at once right now. I'm here IRL in real life. But soon I'm going to head on over to the Metaverse, and then we're going to poke around there. And I say, let's just start with that. The itinerary for today is I want to give everybody a brief tour of the Nimdziverse that we set up. Maybe that's going to take 5-10 minutes. Then we have a short presentation. So let's get right into that. I'm going to have to switch audio here when I go over here. And switch moves here. And we're going to go into the Metaverse together. So I have an Oculus Quest 2 headset here. Seems to work just fine. And the app that we're going to use today is called Spatial.io. I'm going to go here to Spatial and open this up. Give me one moment, people. Now we're going to see if we can hear people in the Metaverse. All right, now that we're in Spatial.io, I'm going to go to Nimdzi Hall. And Nimdzi Hall, let's enter here. Nimdzi Hall is a public place. And I'm going to not mute, but I'm going to switch audio. Testing one. All right. So I should be able to hear you now. Let me take off my headset. Hello, Metaverse. And I see we have some people here. Some people that are on mute, which is just fine. You guys can see everything going on. You guys are on mute, and that's just fine. I saw a bunch of people logging in here. Hey, look, it's Renato. I don't know if you're on mute or not, Renato, if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, shit. Maybe I can't hear him. People joining this space right now. Oh, it's baby. Hello, sir. See that you're talking, but I still can't hear you.
Yeah, I was talking. I am talking.
You are talking. Look at this.
Yes.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Hello. I can hear you just fine. Get everybody on my thing here. You just fine? Yes. We can hear you just fine. So, Renato, it's good to have you here in the Metaverse. This is actually kind of cool. This is the first time oh my God, look at this. It's Mario Line. Hi, Mario Line. This is really cool. We can all meet together here in the Metaverse. And who are you? Who is this person? Hey, Petra, how are you? I haven't seen you since Prague. I can hear you laughing. Michael Asquith, welcome to the Nimdziverse. So anyways, those of you that are joining us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, I just want to give you guys a quick tour around what we're doing here today. Welcome to Nimdzi Hall. We have exhibits in different areas here. I'm going to walk you through those. The main event here is I'm going to be giving the presentation here. This is a PowerPoint presentation. Of course, we've got our screen share up there, which is super nice. I can actually just watch that instead of taking my goggles off to see the screen. Let's first and foremost, before we get in, for those of you that joined in the Nimdziverse, I want to draw your attention right here to this lovely poster. Register to win a Quest 2 headset. And the way that you do this is you post screenshots of yourself in the Metaverse. Make sure to tag Nimdzi Insights while you're here. Or when you post, so that we can be notified of that. And we're going to be drawing at the end of the month some winners to get Quest 2 headsets. That's the headset that I'm winning. If you're nice and you ask for it when you post about it, you can even get a cool multilingual sticker like I have. And I'm going to try to not hit my mic here. So if you do that, if you're joining with the headset, you can just grab the selfie stick here and take a picture like this. Pretty cool. Now that I got the picture, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Where do I want to put this picture? Let's put it right up here. Yes, sir.
In the Nimdzi, in the LinkedIn live thing, there's nothing. It just says Nimdzi LinkedIn live. Is that what you want to happen?
Oh, on the LinkedIn live?
Nimdzi live on the screen.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Not according to my monitor. Hi, Yulia. I see you. According to my monitor, yeah. You guys tell me. You guys tell me in chat if
I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, this is a learning experience for all of us. But anybody, not just Renato. Renato has no problem calling me out. But if anybody would like to, or has any feedback, or would like to say something, please let us know. And stop skipping ahead, guys. Come on. It's like opening presents on Christmas. People are already looking at the presentation. I want to go over here to the research wing here. Just give you a brief walkthrough. We have the Language Technology Atlas with Yulia. I saw Yulia around here together. This is her baby right here. You can go through this. We have virtual copies over here that you can actually click through and read if you like. Of course, you can also download these at nimdzi.com too. There's some really interesting case studies and benchmarking information going on, not just in this wing, but in the other wing as well. We're going to go over to that. All of our featured research, all of our flagship stuff is here. We've got the Interpreting Market Index. We've got the Nimdzi 100. We've got Project Underwear, which of course is talking about user perception, user experience in multiple different markets and cultures around the world. Over here, this is kind of a fun thing. We've got the community wall over here. Go ahead, write a sticky note. Come on over here, guys. Where is everybody? Everyone's just over here. It's like they're hanging out in the kitchen at the Christmas party. Come over here, add a sticky note. That's completely editable. You guys should all be able to do that. Here in the benchmarking hall, we have couple different things. We have some features here for the C-Suite Hot Seat. If you don't know what the C-Suite Hot Seat is, go to Multilingual TV, MLTV. It's available on YouTube. It's Multilingual Magazine's YouTube channel. And we have this, Nimdzi does this awesome program where we interview C-level people from various LSPs and globalization departments and kind of get to know them a little bit better. Also over here, a very, 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 very popular and useful thing that we have here at Nimdzi is called Lessons in Localization. What is Lessons in Localization, you ask? Well, Nimdzi analysts interview globalization directors at top international brands. I'm not going to read that. You can read that for yourself. Essentially, we take briefings with globalization programs, with enterprise side, a client-side globalization directors, globalization departments all around the world, and tell you how it's done. So if you've ever wondered how Skyscanner manages the globalization department or HubSpot manages their international operations, this is an excellent resource. And of course, this is available for Nimdzi partners. Over here, our work in progress, our mergers and acquisitions wall. Nimdzi does a lot of work. We don't talk about it a whole lot because confidentiality aspects of the work. but we do a lot of work on mergers and acquisitions. And here's some of our tombstones from successful deals that we close. So if you're reading, if you're browsing multilingual news and you're reading about those these acquisitions, that was behind it. Here we have our reading rooms, and I'm not going to go into the reading rooms right now, because if I do, I'm gonna be in a different room. But these right here are portals, and that I can travel to different reading rooms. And if I want to get some more benchmarking or see what other people are doing, read some case studies from people on the buyer side, then I can go right here, fast travel to the buyer side reading room. On this side, of course, we have, as you can probably guess, we have LSP reading room with LSP case studies, and some of the case studies are even right here that you can flip through. Oh, that was close. You can flip through on your own, assuming you don't have a microphone right in front of you. And yes, I know I probably look like a complete idiot doing this, if you can see me. So without further ado, I'm going to go over here and start the presentation. So if you're here in the Nimdziverse, I'd love to have you. Marla figured out how to clap. Good for you, Marilyn. Yeah. So you can clap. If you're in virtual reality, it's just a matter of doing this. If you're logging in from a browser, there's buttons. If you go to the settings on the bottom right on your browser and go to controls, that's going to give you a whole bunch of options. You can dance, you can point at stuff. Of course, I can do all of that stuff because I have the headset. So to start, because I've been spending some time in here building this all up, does anyone have any questions before we get going with our presentation here? Moving my stuff, guys. I'm going to block this. All right. So today we are talking about the metaverse. I just want to make sure that everything is, yep, looking good. All right. So today we're talking about the metaverse. And here at Nimdzi Insights, we like to stay on top of what we're doing, of the latest trends. And I'm going to switch back because otherwise you guys will get you will get vertigo if I stay in the VR the whole time. So I'm going to switch back to this camera mode right here. But you guys should be able to hear me still. Awesome. Danielle D'Amato is here somewhere. Hi, Danielle. So what is the metaverse? The metaverse, we started looking at this here at Nimdzi Insights. Oh, I remember when we decided to really start looking at this, we were in Prague. So it was about 3 weeks ago when we were having our company all hands. And that was about the time that Facebook changed their name to Meta. There was a big conference. There was a big announcement from Zuckerberg saying they're basically placing a strategic bet on the future. And they're saying that the future is going to be the metaverse. So what is the metaverse? Let's get right into it here and define some of our terms, shall we? So we have online worlds, multiverse, and metaverse. What is the difference between these things? Well, online worlds and multiverses, we already have quite a proliferation. Online worlds are simply digital spaces focused on a main theme. By the strict definition of the term, Zoom is an online space. LinkedIn is an online space. Renato, back up. You're getting too close to my presentation here. Multiverses are simply multiple worlds or online spaces that are interconnected in some way, but perhaps don't have a shared theme. So think of integrations, right? Hi Danielle, think of all the different things so using Zoom as the example, for saying Zoom is an online world, then we can think of the various integrations that we have with Zoom as creating this multiverse. I can connect Zoom to my Google Meet or my webinar tool or whatever it may be. But this is what we want to talk about today, which is metaverses. And metaverses are simply multiverses that overlap. They have the same theme. They overlap, but they also have an interaction, some sort of integration. They have an API with real life. So an IRL API, if you like acronyms. So this is a way that we can interact with real world objects, systems, and people. We see this in what we're doing today because we have a bunch of people in the room here. We have objects. I don't have it anymore, but you can actually, using this program right here, spatial.io. You can use your phone to like scan objects, and it automatically creates models, puts them into the real world. One of these days, I'd love to have like a storefront here with multilingual mercantile, because we sell all sorts of cool stuff over at multilingual mercantile. I probably even have a sale for that. If you don't know about multilingual mercantile, I'm not going to plug multilingual mercantile. That's not what we're doing here. I'm going to stay focused. But real life objects, just like I showed you earlier with that selfie stick, they start blurring the lines between what is virtual and what is real life. Let's take a look, and before we get any further, so now that we know what our terms are, we've defined our terms, taking a look at that, what are some of the major brands out there, the major influencers in the industry saying about the metaverse? Well, of course, we have to start with Mark Zuckerberg. And with Mr. Zuckerberg here, of course, we have to show his avatar, insert joke about Zuck being Android here. I'm not going to do it. But what he says is, in the next 5 years, we will effectively transition from people seeing us primarily as a social media company to being a metaverse company. As I mentioned, Mark is placing a strategic bet on the future of the metaverse. The sentiment is, amongst the true believers anyways, the people that are believers in the metaverse, the sentiment is essentially this is the next internet. Like, this is going to revolutionize the way we do things, just as the internet once upon a time revolutionized the way that we do things. Next, we have Matthew Ball, who is the author of the Metaverse Project. And what Matthew has to say is that the metaverse is an expansive network of persistent, real-time rendered 3D worlds and simulations that support continuity of identity, objects, history, payments, and entitlement, and can be experienced synchronously by an effectively unlimited number of users, each with an individual sense of presence. And once again, this guy is the author of the Metaverse Primer, which, full disclosure, I haven't read yet. It's on my list, as with a bunch of other books. Going back to Meta, we took a look at what Zuck had to say. First, let's go back to Meta, previously known as Facebook, of course. They say the metaverse, in quotation marks, is a set of virtual spaces where you can create and explore with other people who aren't in the same physical location as you. Pretty succinct, right? Like that covers basically what we're doing today. But Facebook doesn't end with Facebook. I'm a Microsoft guy. At least I am at heart. Spent a lot of time at Microsoft, of course, because I live in Seattle, so of course I do. Let's see what Satya has to say. The metaverse is here, and it's not only transforming how we see the world, but how we participate in it, from the factory floor to the meeting room. Take a look. Now, we're going to come back to Satya here. We're going to come back to what Microsoft is doing with their Microsoft Mesh platform, because that actually, believe it or not, is something that I'm personally most excited about. So stay tuned for that. But the question that I want you guys, whether you're watching live on YouTube, whether you're here in the metaverse with everybody, with all of us, or whether you're watching a recording of this afterwards, this is the question I want you to be keeping in mind right here, which is the metaverse the new internet? And it might be a silly question because you need the internet for the metaverse to happen, but essentially what I'm wanting to talk about here is, or what I'm talking about here is, will the effect that the metaverse has on society be somewhat the same as the effects that the internet has had on society over the last decades? And hey, if anybody in here wants to say something, just unmute yourself and speak up, because I see people raising hands, but I also know that we're all practicing the controls and we're getting used to things. So you just go ahead and unmute yourself and speak up if you want to say anything.
We're just afraid we're going to interrupt your speech.
Oh, you've never been afraid of it.
It's fun to say hi in your metaverse.
Hi, Stefan. You've never been afraid of interrupting me before. Good to see you, Stefan.
Good to see you.
All right. Let's go back here. Next question I want you guys to be asking yourself, is the metaverse already here? Is the metaverse already here? It's easy to walk away from Zuckerberg's presentation. Those of you that saw it thinking like, oh, wow, this is the future. This is the next thing. You know, I'm going to go rewatch Ready Player One 10 times to prepare. You know, I hesitate to say that the metaverse is something that's happening in the future. It will continue to evolve in the future because in many, many aspects, the metaverse is already here. And this is what we're going to be taking a look at in this next section. I want to look at some different companies that are already doing some cool things out there in the metaverse. And excuse me, I'm just going to check my levels here. All right, perfect. Fortnite. Any gamers here? Anybody? Anybody? I used to be a gamer when I had time to game. Well, I wouldn't call myself a gamer, but I used to play some games. I used to play me some Xbox. Not so much anymore. I am not familiar with Fortnite, but those of you that are, or those of you that perhaps have teenagers or younger children that spend a lot of time in this, realize that Fortnite is more than a game. It is an online world. They're hosting events in there. I mean, they're announcing. I remember they announced the Star Wars, the last Star Wars movie. They made the announcement in Fortnite. You know, so things are already happening as far as virtual conference. It's not just a place where you can go, you know, shoot people in the head and you know, curse at 15-year-olds as you're playing against them. It's also a place where you can hold virtual conferences, virtual get-togethers, stuff like that. Facebook Horizon is frankly something that I'm pretty interested in looking at. I haven't had a chance to play with it. It's not really ready yet because the stuff that I'm interested in is, according to Zucker anyway, coming soon. So when it's here, I'm very interested in looking at it because not so much Facebook Horizons, but there's a component called Facebook Horizons Worlds, which is supposedly going to be an area where you can completely create your own spaces from scratch, invite people into those spaces, meet together, much like what we're doing here, with the difference being it's much more, supposedly, if you believe the announcements, it's much more easy to customize the space from scratch. The user experience is decent. I told you to stop moving my stuff around. I need to go around and lock everything. That's okay. You guys can break stuff, mess it up. Go ahead. But once that comes out, I'm very interested in it. But you might say, well, you have a completely customizable space here, right? Well, Spatial.io, the platform that we're using here today, has some pre-designed templates that you can use. This is one of them. This is a gallery template. If I wanted to spend some money, I could commission my own three-dimensional model and upload it and do all that. It's not a very user-friendly experience, though. I need to get someone who knows what they're doing as far as building models. That's why I'm interested in our Facebook Horizons, especially Horizons Worlds, because it'll be much more easy to build worlds. Here we have, what are we looking at? Somnium Space. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I haven't had a chance to play around with this at all. Supposedly the main draw to this one, though, is that it's avatar based. You can have custom avatars, and everything's based on NFTs. So there's virtual property, virtual assets, NFTs that you can buy and transact with, and all of that stuff. IMVU, another one that I have not had the chance to come out or to play around with a lot. I've been busy building all this stuff on here, but needs to be in here for the sake of completeness. VR chat, I have had a chance to play out with, and the reason VR chat's pretty mature, I think they have a lot of users around the world. One of the bad things about being in VR is that my present notes next to me, I'm all alone here. They have a lot of users around the world. High adoption rate, very passionate user base, fully customizable avatars, fully customizable environments and worlds. The reason I'm not using this today and I'm using Spatial.io for a couple of reasons. The first one would be that it's not easy. Like the user experience, like I'm sure it's one of those things like teenagers probably just intuitively understand, but it's I wanted to build something. We wanted here at Nimdi to build something that was accessible to anybody, regardless of your experience levels. And I didn't feel that the art chat was going to be that, because it was very complicated and basically kind of intimidating. The time that I spent in there, I spent a lot of time like running away from people and being cursed out by 13-year-olds. It's kind of that thing. Oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong page. Are you guys messing with my pages here? And now we get to Spatial I/O. So Spatial I/O is the app that we're using today. And what I really like about this one is I'm kind of placing a bet on Spatial, thinking that they're going to be doing cool things. They're going to be rolling out more features in the future. Because the reality is that the experience with Spatial so far has been fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But there's some features that are just missing. I'm going to take a chance to use this bug in my OCD here. I'm going to move that painting back. You guys can't see the painting. I'm back. Where was I? Oh, the reason I like Spatial I/O is because that you don't need a headset. You don't need to be logging in with VR in order to hear. You can be logging in with your computer. You can be logging in with your mobile app even, which allows you to, do the second screen effects, right? I know probably you that are dialing in from your computer today, this open on the second screen, you're listening along, which is perfect. That's awesome. But you can't do that with the other ones, like the VR chat. You need to be in VR. You need to be in VR.
Wait, where my son says that, it gets nauseous within 5 minutes, and I don't have that problem.
Yeah, that's another thing, Stefan, is that one thing that I've noticed about VR is all the apps that come with Oculus anyway that are available in the App Store, they'll have a difficulty level. And what I mean by difficulty isn't like how difficult is this game or how difficult is this thing, that is application, but it's essentially how difficult is it not to throw up. The stamina that you need to build. I remember when I first put on this headset that I'm wearing right now, when I first put it on, I was sick. I wanted to throw up, and I needed to build that stamina to the point where I could actually do this for longer than minutes. Anybody else in here in VR with me? Or are you guys all to desktop? Anybody? All right. Early adopter Tucker. That's all right. Hey, screenshot post LinkedIn next time you can be in VR, because
I got my VR headset today, so I didn't have time to get it.
Well, no, that's you didn't have time to get it for recording. I'll probably just come over to your house, so that I can give it to somebody else anyways. That'll be the one for the drawing. All right, we're almost done here, guys. The last one, I think the last one, is the Microsoft Mesh. And I'm really excited to see what's happening here. They're focusing not just as is Spatial as our other ones. They're focusing their own headset, they've got their own platform. And there's a big focus on AR in addition to VR, which is, of course, augmented reality as opposed to virtual reality. Virtual reality is what I'm doing right here with the headset. I'm completely in a virtual world. I can hear what's going on, I can see what's going on, but I'm not engaging with the outside world. Augmented reality is a hybrid, where it's like Google Glass, where it's like a heads-up display, so I can see not just what's happening with you guys in the virtual world, I can also see my surroundings, so that I probably wouldn't be hitting the microphone every time I wave my arms. Why am I excited to see what's happening with Microsoft? Because what they're doing is they've got a strong focus on Teams collaboration, and they've got a strong focus on integrating with Microsoft Teams, which is a widely used platform that lots of people use on it every single day. So there's no need to go into an additional platform, download another app. It's coming to you in the environment that you work in. And that's, of course, Zoom So that's why I'm like that. So what? Like, do we need to care about virtual reality? Do we need to care about Metaverse? Like, what do we need to be doing? Particularly those of us, most of us in here probably from the language services industry, the localization industry, in some form or related industry. So let's take a look at what is the current status of this right now. Let me back up. Here we go. All right. So what's already working pretty? What's already like going well? What's already going well here? Well, first we got wearable tech. You might think, oh, wearable tech's kind of irritating. I don't like it. Well, if you use AirPods, if you have an Apple Watch, you're already into wearable tech, right? You're already doing wearable tech. Like, I live by my Apple Watch. I live by my AirPods. Online gaming communities, and we've had MMOs or passive multiplayer online games for quite a while. It's not new. Quite a while. I remember for like these when I was in high school, so that was a while back. In addition to those, like World of Warcraft stuff like that, we've also got Fortnite and VR and all those that we talked about earlier. Avatars. Here, another reason I chose spatial IO is because I wanted to create a professional space. I didn't want people running around as anime girls, and robots and stuff like that. I wanted to create a space where I can meet with people. I look over there. I know that's Michael and Michael. I know that's Renato. I know that's me logging somewhere else. That's one over there. So it's like these are real avatars. But I don't know. If I had guessed, I would think we're in society are going to be much more interested in virtual avatars moving forward. There's a certain degree of anonymity that comes with being an avatar. There's a certain amount of self-expression that comes with being an avatar. But if we look at if we look at you have to see me fall off my chair for a day over. Avatars are already here. We're already using avatars on a daily basis, so not something new. Current platforms, including interactive streaming and chat. What I mean by this is not so big in America, big in Asia, big in China, coming to America, but you go to Amazon.com, for example, and you're shopping for a headset. Like I'm starting to see it here in the States now, even though it's well adopted in other markets around the world. You see a live stream. The people live stream. It's like a virtual help desk. It's a virtual. It's not Metaverse. It's not not virtual reality. But there's someone there live streaming, responding to questions in real time, basically enabling you to make that purchase, acting as a real time help desk. You want to take a step back, we can grow chat bots or online chat. If you go to Nimdi.com, we have a feature where there's a chat tool. You can just chat with someone from Nimdi if they're available, depending on the availability. So that's something that already you guys keep. So, hey, everybody in the room here, you watch my presentation, it will be slides. So, thanks for the interactivity here. We're going to stay on this one right now, though. And the last one, of course, is 5G. This is Renault's battle cry. Renato, where are you? Just a little bit about 5G, though.
Not much to say. It's just that it's a reflection point that every time that we change from one G to another, it's not the speed that matters. It's just the type of interactions and speed out. So big change moving from 4G to 5G is the latency of actions that you perform. So the idea of performing remote surgery becomes possible with 5G. What this creates is, and the Metaverse is just an early rendition of what this would be. What 5G will do is what the 4G did. When we moved from 3G to 4G, we were able to share pictures and so Instagram couldn't have existed before 4G. So there are things that we don't know gig internet speeds and things like that. So the change, the moment is a moment of change is an inflection point, and it will allow new technologies and new companies to appear and move up in this new reality.
Thank you, Renato. And of course, if anyone else has anything to add, please do so. But essentially, 5G is going to make the internet faster, and it's going to make it faster, capable of carrying more data in a short amount of time. Super important. Since I started playing around with virtual reality, my internet, my ISP, internet service providers are unhappy with me. It's just a ton of valuable. There's a ton of bandwidth that's being used in order for virtual reality thing. Marla, I just want to say, you're awesome. That the first thing you figured out to do is create a martini. That's
Yes.
rad. Anybody else? Yeah.
The first thing is a cat.
You were the cat person. I saw that cat floating
It's
around.
happening on LinkedIn right now. There's a cat
Thing going on. Well, good trade, Marty, for the cat. I'm gonna go back to the view here so that the guy watching LinkedIn do not get a headache. All right, where were we? What's already awesome? All right, so if we're talking about already awesome, we need to talk about it. Sorry. Headset might have frozen, so I'm going to come back over here. So my headset. Yeah.
We can hear you.
One moment. Testing one. All right, guys. So.
Just here. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Renato says my bandwidth must be affected. All right. Well, let's work on this. All right. Can you hear me now? In the Metaverse. Testing.
Is it me or is that Martha that we should find a way to write something to put a sticky note.
All right, guys. Well, if you're watching us on LinkedIn, just bear with us one moment here because the headset crashed, which is super appropriate. and the inmates are taking over the asylum. So I got kicked out of my own Metaverse, and now everybody's going through my presentation.
Tucker, there's a problem with your microphone. I guess he can't hear us either. So wasn't there, this looks familiar to me, but was there like an Elia or an Ala or another event?
All right, guys. Sorry for the dead air. Just getting back.
There was Mid Central Europe recently, but it was like a free world.
He did it.
Well, this might be a good time to take a look at chat too. There was an error running script. Sorry about that, Gio. In the Metaverse, looks like everyone's having a good experience so far. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they're running like 8 different devices at the same internet connection. And you guys. Alright.
Just like with Zoom, we're gonna figure out a whole bunch of things. Yeah. We start using
What's going on there?
a whole bunch of technical issues.
Here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to come back over here and refresh this space here. Refresh this space here.
We still can't hear you, Tucker.
Computer.
There's a problem with your microphone. It's breaking up. It's like it's only plugged halfway in. No, we can't hear you.
Got testing.
Does everybody see their own avatar?
Excellent. Now we are cooking with gas.
I think
Here's
the
the
because she
green.
didn't upload
Green
I
guy.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
All right. Entering Nimdziverse again. Of course, I start off in the lobby. Gotta go back to Nimdzi Hall.
Now now I understand how my son spends his life playing in.
All right, guys, I'm back.
All right, guys, I'm back.
You can hear me better now. And I have no idea if they can hear you on the stream.
No,
We're learning this together, you guys.
we are learning.
But let's get
Your
through
screen breaking up.
Probably. That's what I was talking about. I'm so sorry.
Now it's better.
Okay. Now it's better. Okay. Yeah, well, it all sucks if I mute my main microphone. Hey, look, there's me up there. That's awesome. Okay, so where are we at? We are appropriately, we are on this section, which is what needs some work. And let me make sure that we're on the right screen here. There. What needs some work? Get that out of there. Just doing this. We can't hear you at first. I'm going to just note. All right. Thank you. Get rid of that. So, what is already awesome? We talk about that. What needs some work? Well, interconnectivity between the experiences and worlds, right? I can take my avatar now and use it, my spatial avatar, and use it in VR chat, for example. So there needs to be some standardization that happens not just with avatars, but with lots of different things. More practical, workable is that hardware. That's what I'm wearing right now costs $300 in the US. I'm sure it costs more in other countries around the world. Not very accessible, not creating an environment where everybody in the world has access to this technology. Another thing that's preventing the accessibility is the amount of internet, the amount of bandwidth that is required for this. And we already covered that, though, so I don't need to go on that. But not all markets around the world have access to the same level of internet speeds. Ease of use, like I said, there's a tool for everyone who's playing spatial out there, making this easy to use, intuitive, focusing on user experience. There are 5 other companies out there which is really bad user experience. I'm sure it'll get better. I'm sure everything's going to get better as we move into the future. But right now, user experience is far from intuitive, so easily needs to get better. We talked about interconnectivity between different worlds, but we also need interconnectivity integrations with real world stuff, or that's real world stuff that's like existing platforms. Like, I would love to be able to meet with my team in the Metaverse and have integrate with Google Meet or GoToWebinar or Zoom or something like this. So, like, you've seen how painful this experience is right now. I've got virtual cables on virtual cables all put together in order to make this work today. In the future, it's going to be more accessible so that you don't need a master's degree in electrical engineering to figure out how everything works. And that's monetization purpose. There's some interesting thing happening with NFTs out there. There's monetization happening. You read in news stories about someone who just paid millions of dollars for online real estate in the Metaverse. My advice, do not go out and spend millions of dollars on online real estate in the Metaverse. Not yet. Don't do it. It's not there yet. I think the society of the Metaverse, all of us together, we're still trying to figure out what's the use case, what is the monetization strategy for this.
So you mean that I'm never going to monetize that the acre of land that was on the moon in the 1980s?
Acre of, yeah, you'll monetize that right after I monetize a square of land you bought me in Scotland.
Okay, I
Whatever that was. Yeah. You can call me Lord Tucker from now on. And so the last thing here, what does it mean for globalization? Most of us in this room and are here in globalization, here. Say more content, but not necessarily words. So when I say there's going to be work, I don't necessarily mean that there's going to be higher word counts. In fact, I would expect, as far as the metaverse is concerned, the word counts to be lower than a traditional, more content-based ecosystem like a website or more traditional online space or online multiverse. The reason for that is because there's going to be file types, there's going to be new formats, we're going to see file extensions that we've never heard of are going to start becoming created over the next few years. Zuckerberg himself, by the way, estimates that the metaverse really isn't going to start coming into fruition on its own until the next 5 to 10 years. That's Zuckerberg's estimation, so even it's got a long way to go. We're going to see geographic countries becoming less relevant. This huge for a language industry. We make a living off of facilitating cross-market, cross-cultural, cross-language communication. And here in the metaverse, literally anybody from anyone, literally anybody with an internet connection and had that interest in the metaverse, and it's all real-time interaction. That stuff can't be then put into a TTF file into a globalization. So automated speech-to-speech, machine translation, speech-to-text, machine translation is going to become super important. Even here in spatial.io, for example, I can turn on subtitles, so or captions, so that you actually do that right now. Let's do that and see how that works. That's what I use for people over on LinkedIn. How that went. Okay. Let's try this here. You guys can probably see what I'm doing up here on green. If I go to settings and I can go to speech captions, caption to speech. Yeah. English. Yeah. Let's see how that works. So now I'm presuming that you guys will be able to make speech. Well, I can see the speech. That's good. I don't know why you don't want speech to be captions, but there you have it. Okay. So back to the word of geographical boundaries becoming relevant. There's going to be a big need for regulatory expertise and guidance, and privacy issues are going to be concerns. Not all countries, not all governments, I should say, around the world have the same unique ideas about this metaverse is going to be. Traditionally, when new technologies, when new modalities to when things, when change happens, governments, there's an element, not governments, but society, people too. There's an element of fear there. So governments, a lot of governments are going to be last people to really come on board this, which means it's going to try to regulate it, which means it's going to be confusing. That's an opportunity for those of us in the language services industry to really add value. Anytime there's confusion out there between or around how different are two different things, then that's an opportunity for us in the language services industry to really add value. As usual, the globalization industry leads the way. Basically, what I was just saying, right? Here in the language services industry, we touch on everything. Anything that's happening internationally across borders, we have a role playing in that. We also traditionally have both on the LA side in particular, deal with multiple different companies around the world. And when those brands and clients are sometimes working within departments. So we really have to be experts, not experts, and we have to know what we're talking about for many, many different things. We don't get the luxury in our industry of sitting on the sidelines. Go on the vendor side anyways. You're going to have links that want to talk to you about Metaverse. Now you can actually say, oh, you like to join today. You can say, yeah, I've already attended. And I know there's other events in our industry, I'm not just going to do it, that are in a virtual world. The difference between this is there's not a common. This is the world. Like, I'm going to hang up here and go do what I do and get work here after this presentation. In this world, everything they see here is still going to exist. So you come in here later on tonight and mess up my posters more, add some more cast, whatever you want to do. It's an online persistent universe. And so are the case study reading rooms too. My new bug. I'll probably have a few more bugs for those case study reading having quotes from Mark Zuckerberg and Satya Nadella, it's only fair to get a quote from this expert up here. He says, the metaverse is a gift, and perhaps it is, but one point people thought the internet and its early immature ones were a gimmick as well. We need to be informed in the life services industry because literally the whole world looks to us for support. And right now, the world is interested in the metaverse. So my prediction is it is going to be the next thing. Perhaps not. My money is that metaverse is here today in some form, in some regard. There's going to be some way that this affects us on a large scale as society moving forward. What I mean by that is how we interact with each other, what we do with each other. Just as the internet has. Is it here yet? No. Do you need to invest millions of dollars in the metaverse? No, please don't. Please don't guys at this point, unless you want to be the next big metaverse company, and you're betting the farm on that. The time, according to this analyst, anyways, the time is not right yet to really be investing a ton of resources and time into this. Let companies, early adopters like Nimdi play around with it, break things, and have people around you that know what's going on. Like Nimdzi Insights, there's my other plug. Like Nimdzi Insights will tell you when it's time to get in here. However, if you like what you see here today, and perhaps if you want to go create your own personal virtual environment, I encourage you to do that. Just don't be expecting a huge ROI on it. But if you want to ride the hype train, I'm available. I love talking about this. Talk to people from Nimdi, talk to your teenage cousin or nephew or niece who is at a VR account. Get excited about it. Get a base level knowledge so that you can talk about moving forward in the future. And with that, I went way over time on what I wanted to say on the presentation today, but I'm all done. Any comment questions from my fellow?
Have you seen the Iceland tourism board's commercial?
I have not. Is it Metaverse?
Is mirrored.
Stefan,
Very mirrored on
this is just really creepy what's happening with Stefan here. His avatar.
I'm able to figure it out. Yeah, maybe avatar.
There's some backwards still.
Something went wrong. There's some real irony in this thing. Maybe I've got my head trade on one of these.
Well, you pretty beautiful people. My team already left. You guys are still here and we're not. That's okay. I want to do this, guys. I'm going to switch back. I'm going to get out of the metaverse and switch back and shut my live stream for those that are running online. But I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go the headset. I'm going to grab the selfie stick so we can all take a picture together. All right? So everyone, turn around, look at me. Figuring out how to turn around. How to rotate. Danielle got it. That's clapping. Marla. Try the
I thought it would look good on the
Q and D keys, I think. Let me see what it is. You know what? I should just come to you guys here. Where's that selfie stick? Yeah. Don't worry. I'm coming back. I'll send up in front. And we'll do it here. Alright. Stay tuned, everybody. Alright. That is a beautiful picture. Let's just blow that up for everybody to see. That is lovely. That is wonderful. Yeah. I think I don't know your profile picture. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to log out of here. I think you'll still be able to hear stuff, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to back over to LinkedIn and I should say thank you for joining. Alright.
I make some time with you.
And I'm just going to mute them 100%. Alrighty, guys. Well, this has been an episode of Nimdzi Live. And I hope everybody has enjoyed this today. We're doing interesting stuff. We're doing interesting stuff over here at Nimdi, and we like working with people that are also doing interesting stuff. I just want to double check on the chat here, make sure that I'm not leaving anybody in the cold. Yeah, the volume was a bit weird. Thank you for, music was too loud. Yep, nope, just a bunch of people complaining, which is pretty par for the course. Pretty par for the course in the comment section. So, once again, everybody, I'd like to thank you, and thank you for joining us here in the Nimdziverse today. If you didn't get a chance to join us, and perhaps you were watching this as a recorded version, head on over to metaverse.nimdzi.com. And it is a fully online, persistent world. You can go in there and you can look around, get ideas, break stuff, move my posters around without asking my permission. Whatever you'd like to do, it's there for you. To close this up, I appreciate everybody that joined us live here on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc. I appreciate everybody that joined us in Nimdzi Hall over in the Nimdziverse. And I appreciate everybody, of course, that left comments in the chat today. So, with that, I've been Tucker Johnson, and this has been Nimdzi Live. I'll use that as my sign-off. Have a great day.